Hey, what's going on? It's your man, Fat Man Buddha, and we back again with another reaction. Things that will help your opinion on what's going on, not just around the world, but in your own backyard. Because a lot of people don't even know what's going on in their own backyard, and that is scary. How you gonna live in a country and not pay attention to what's going on around it or in it? But that's what we here for, baby. You can get more truth on the internet nowadays than you ever can from your own government. And that should worry a lot of people. But hey, let's get into these good videos, man. And I promise you, you are going to be informed. If nothing else, you are going to be informed. So let's get started.
Make no mistake, if you try anything to raise the cost of producing jobs, I will veto it.
Big fact. And we've never seen an decrease in positions of jobs. The fuck? It's an illegal regime. That's not even the real Joe Biden. The real Joe Biden died 7 years ago. It's an illegal regime. You understand? Take off the mask, whoever the fuck you are.
China's not an enemy, and I think that's important for people to clearly understand. China is a rising power. China has been a rising power since Deng Xiaoping in '79, and they've been clicking off at 10% growth for almost 30 years, and they dropped down to about 7% the last year or two, and they'll probably drop again, and come into the range of normalcy and 3 to 5% growth. But that's still significant economic growth, and there's been a really large historic change from a North Atlantic-based global economy to now it's proceeding to be a North Pacific-based global economy. So with respect to China, what normally happens historically, it's not in all cases, but in most cases, where you have economic growth of that magnitude typically follows military power. And that's what we're seeing. We're seeing a significant increase in Chinese military capabilities over the last 10 to 20 years. And they are going to develop themselves and are developing themselves into a great power. That is not to say, however, that they are an enemy.
Message right there, baby. China is not the enemy. China has never been the enemy. Why? Because America cannot beat China. Because my people, won't support it. What's the point of going to war with China, bro? You've been trying to start a war with China for so long just because China backs up Russia. Like, come on, man. You can't fool people no more, man. You can fool homunculus chimeras, but you can't fool me. But
And just one more point. Yeah. For the neoliberals who say that the residents of that area deserve what they are getting because they voted for President Donald J. Trump, it is abhorrent. This is about poverty. This is about poor, working class white people who are enduring some of the same things that poor, working class black people endure, whether it's Flint, Cleveland, or Jackson, Mississippi. And so I want to lay it out. The cultist behavior in politics right now, it is a sin and a shame that when people are suffering to this magnitude, you got people who will fix their mouths, to quote my grandmother, to say that they are getting what they deserve. What they deserve is clean air, clean food, clean water. They deserve relief, both in the short term and also in the long term.
you feel me? Do unto others, bro, before it gets done to you. You understand? But yeah, she's right, but it's a whole cult. And for them to actually sit there and say that the people of Ohio are getting what they deserve for voting for Trump, that shows you how well the MK Ultra program is working here. Because for anyone to sit here and celebrate cruelty on other people, you have to, I don't know, come from a long line and lineage of people who enjoy doing cruelty to other people, like lynching parties. But I digress. Wait.
Good evening. Before we begin with tonight's broadcast, I want to say something about what we witnessed at last night's town hall. Many of you have expressed deep anger and disappointment. It was disturbing. That man, President of the United States, predictably continued to spew lie after lie after lie.
You're okay. You're not going to get COVID if you have these vaccinations.
It is impossible to fact check fully because he lies so shamelessly.
It's one thing to have the vaccine, which we didn't have when we came into office.
And it was certainly disturbing.
The Hispanic and the African American community, particularly in rural areas that are distant and or inner city districts, know how to get online.
You have every right to be outraged today and angry and never watch this network again.
But look, like I said, man, take your pick. Is he a clone? Is he a robot? Is he somebody wearing a mask? Is he a reptile? It's an illegal organization, and this is their second time doing this. Because let's not forget that when Ronald Reagan died in office, they replaced him with a lookalike. All right. But hey, take your pick, man. Either way, it's illegal.
There was this man kicking his vehicle, and I turned my head and I saw the block by block officers were crossing. I was literally flabbergasted because they walked right past just like they were just like nothing.
Message. That is going to be happening all around, boy. When I tell you, personally, I can't wait. Personally, I cannot wait because I am fully prepared to defend myself. I don't know about y'all, but I'm fully prepared to defend myself. You know, once the law breaks down, I hope that everybody is smart and goes straight to Walmart. You know, if you're smart like me and you used to be a truck driver, you know I'm not going to deal with the hassle. I'm going to go to Walmart's distribution centers around America. I'm not going to the stores. I'm going to the distribution centers around America. And I'm going to load up. I'm going to just load up on everything because, hey, the law is not the law anymore. So, you know, like you guys are worried about Jamie Foxx and his gay basketball parties. Life is happening, niggas.
Dakota is a very agriculture state. We grow the world's food. And I've seen how China has come in and bought up our manufacturing facilities, our processing facilities. They've also, over the years, bought our fertilizer, our chemical companies. Their goal is to control our food supply so they can control the United States of America. Now, in recent years, we've become much more aware of how they're buying up land. South Dakota already has a state law on the books that limits what a foreign entity can purchase for land in the state. But I'm re-examining that and looking to bring legislation that will not only address purchasing of land, but also make sure that those who hate us and other foreign entities can't have long-term leases, that they can't come in and lock up land for an agenda that isn't good for these people that live here in South Dakota, but also our country. I think it's important that we recognize that not only does China manipulate their currency, steal our intellectual property, that they are building up their military, that they're purchasing our food supply chains, that they also will do this by purchasing land around us next to military bases and also food supply, land that is used for that purpose to harm us, and that we take action to make sure that doesn't happen.
So, real quick. So, like I told y'all before, China owns the Democrats. China owns the Democrats. Again, I used to be a truck driver. Being a truck driver, I would drive all over America. Has anyone else noticed all these Chinese and Korean billboards that are popping up all along the side of the road in Chinese and Korean letterings? Anybody else concerned that they're starting to control the housing market in America? Now you just heard that they're controlling the farming in America. Who else has been buying up land in America? Bill Gates. Bill Gates, another person who's been dead for like the past 10 years, who's still around somehow. You feel me? What if we pull off everybody's mask and it's not a reptile, it's just some Asian person? Because nothing is what it seems. You think Hollywood is in California. Hollywood is all over the United States of America. And boy, it is entertaining as hell until you realize what is going on. So they're buying up the farmland. They're buying up processing plants. They're buying up distribution centers. They're buying up houses. And they're buying up land around military bases to establish their own military base, which is, you know, suspicious. But y'all worried about Jamie Foxx though. Come on, man. Like, this shit's a comedy, boy.
Good morning. My name is Lieutenant Colonel Teresa Long, and I have been invited here today to testify to the truth before the legislators of Idaho. The information I'm presenting is made as a protected communication under Title 10 USC 1034 as a whistleblower. My opinions are my own and do not reflect that of the United States Army, the DoD, or any entity thereof.
Insurance companies figured that if there was something catastrophic that happened to the United States, they would see a 10% increase in all-cause morbidity and mortality. 10%, for just like an unprecedented, catastrophic, natural event or something that happened in the United States.
U.S. life insurance companies have reported an overwhelming and unexplainable increase in all-cause deaths among 18 to 49-year-olds.
40% is no one's even calculated that. I mean, that's never been factored into what things would look like. It's apocalyptic.
In my 15 years as a doctor taking care of soldiers, I have never seen this litany of debilitating and potentially deadly medical conditions in soldiers. These conditions included strokes, transient ischemic attacks, pericarditis, myocarditis, erratic heart rates, arrhythmias, rapid onset and progression of various cancers to include testicular cancer, esophageal cancer, brain tumors, neuroendocrine tumors, spinal tumors, thyroid dysfunction, multiple sclerosis, cognitive impairment, persistent severe insomnia, suppression of the immune system, unprovoked blood clots in the splenic and portal vein, avascular necrosis, liver dysfunction, menstrual irregularities, and miscarriages.
Well, I think if you look at the 5.3.6 post-marketing analysis report, the 1,291 adverse events, I don't think those came as diagnostic tests. I think they came as confirmatory tests. You ordered a product, you wanted the product to kill people. Hey, stockholders, we got exactly what you ordered.
Fourth shot, Borla, the CEO of Pfizer.
Good for CVS, good for Walmart, good for your health.
When I reached out to Army Public Health Command and numerous senior medical and operational leaders about my safety concerns, I was ignored. Threats against my career were made, but no appropriate actions were taken to fully investigate the number and scope of adverse medical events after COVID vaccines.
What I was here today to speak about truly was the weaponization of public health.
Oh, I forgot to mention, I'm also a whistleblower. That's my... That person right there called me one day. I called her, I can't remember, it was an email. And she said, have you seen the DMED system? Have you seen what it's up? And I'm like, I'm working on the border. I'm trying to stop 12,000 people from coming across this border a week. And she said, well, take a look at it.
A week?
Seeing the DMED data, I have significant concerns that we won't have a standing army in 5 years.
But they said 5 years, but try it. Try it. Try it. Try it. Try it. I guarantee you it does not matter. America is the land of the home. It's the land and home of people who do not give a fuck. If China thinks that they can invade because the military suddenly is unable to defend, if Russia thinks that they can invade because the military suddenly is unable to defend, we will join hands and burn China and Russia to the ground. It takes one invasion from an outside force, and I promise you, racism will end that day. Racism will end that day, and that's what people would like to understand. They are constantly trying to keep up this whole we hate each other, racist, racist, racist. But at the end of the day, if an outside force comes here, we will unite and we will burn China and Russia to the ground because they don't know how to fight like we do. All that military training from birth that they be going through, fight somebody from Cajun, fight somebody from Mississippi, fight somebody from Missouri. And you talking about a gun war? You really don't want that because then you'll just be a distraction for us. All these people on the streets who love guns, we're supposed to be in the military, it's just that we don't trust the government. You will be a welcome distraction for us. And we will start tallying up kill streaks. Try it. Try to do a full-scale invasion and think you're going to survive. You know how many commanders will disobey orders to stand down? But people forget who America really is, but we are sociopaths around here. But we get along with each other. But
these conspiracy theories have turned out to be true.
Which ones? The Trump-Russia witch hunt, Jeffrey Epstein, JFK assassination, the misuse of the Patriot Act, the Iraq War, the weapons of mass destruction, the war in Ukraine, the bombing of the Nord Stream pipeline, the open border migration caravans, the climate change scam, chemtrails, and HARP, and 9/11 being an inside job, and the Internet of Things surveillance grid, and PFAs, and chemicals in the water turning everyone gay, and the 2020 election being stolen, and January 6th being filled with undercover feds, and Bilderberg and Bohemian Grove, and global government, not to mention gain-of-function research and the threat of China, and collapsing birth rates, and defund the police, and George Soros, and mail-in ballots, and big tech censorship, and disinformation agencies, and Obama's birth certificate, and probably some others I can't think of. I mean, so a few of them. I guess a couple of them have
man, we really are running out of just conspiracy theories. That says something. That really does. That says a lot. Because everything is happening so fast, boy. Like, I don't even talk about it no more. I mean, yeah, I'm doing a video about it, but I'm talking about just face to face because so many people just, this isn't true, this isn't true, this isn't true. Well, have you looked? Have you looked? They never look. Put a gun to their head and they still won't look.
This country is doomed. It is doomed, not just because of African Americans, but because by 2040, this country is going to be minority white European. You hear me? Minority white European. And you guys are going to have to start working more with Hispanics.
Joe
who
shows
make
his
up
true
a
colors.
larger portion of the population than y'all do.
Point blank, period. They are literally trying to incite a race war, a controlled race war. Because they're trying to eliminate us. You heard what he said? He mentioned us. He just said you're going to have to work with a lot more Hispanics. What about us? That's... Hey, but if y'all don't want to pay attention, but they trying to do everything but the right thing, but...
Let me just get you to Nancy, can you tell us why we have all the $150 billion going to Ukraine? We have homeless on the streets in your own city. Nancy, can I get some stock trading tips on how to get semiconductors in Taiwan? Nancy, Nancy, is your son involved with Hunter Biden?
So, yeah. Let's not forget that Jew, Nancy Pelosi, is pushing the whole Taiwan agenda. which is another way to cause a conflict between America and China. Because China doesn't recognize Taiwan's independence, which is wrong. But at the same time, why does she have a business deal to get superconductors in Taiwan? See, it's one thing to do the right thing, but when you do the right thing for a profit gain, is it really the right thing? Or are you just doing it to put people in debt to you? Boy, it's just a question.
As amended favorably to the House floor by a 7-5 vote. Is it?
Appreciate your time, committee.
Is there a motion to adjourn? Thank you.
Okay. That is hilarious, bruh. Okay, so they are without a doubt losing their mind. I'm gonna say it if nobody else is gonna say it. The LGBTQ community is a cult. They are officially a cult now. Like, they are officially a cult now. Like, their sex club is their church. They get money financially. They force you to conform to them. Anything outside of the way that they think is a foreign entity and needs to be destroyed. And they are securing their own sectors and blocks of land in America, which I'm sure China's behind. Damn, boy, it's a fucking movie out here, boy. I can't, but it's a movie out here. But I stand by what I said. I stand by what I said. The LGBTQ plus, and yes, that plus does stand for pedophile. Big surprise. The LGBTQ plus is a cult. And they are rapidly growing to the largest cult in America. The LGBTQ went from just wanting to be left alone and just wanting to live their lives in peace without having to be in fear of walking down the streets and being lynched. And go look it up. In the 70s and 80s, they used to lynch homosexuals. All they wanted was to be left alone, left in peace, and just not feel threatened to be killed. And then it turns into a cult. And now they are bullying everyone. They are pushing it so hard, they're pushing it in schools to 5-year-olds. That is a cult. The LGBTQP, and trust me, it's about to just be P, is a cult. You can't argue with that, bro. Like, niggas.
So their system is not stopping. And then finally, I want to say that we need one idea. And we're not thinking about a solution to the problem. We're dealing with all these other things, but these are diversions from the solution to the problem. And we have to start to think about a solution to the problem so that these young brothers and sisters who are here now, who are 15, 16, and 17, are not here 25 years later talking about these same problems. Now, how do I know that the white people know that we are going to come up with a solution to the problem? I know it because they have retina scans, they have what they call racial profiling, DNA banks, and they're monitoring our people to try to prevent the one person from coming up with the one idea. And the one idea is how
Agreed.
we are going to exterminate white people, because that, in my estimation, is the only conclusion I have come to. We have to exterminate white people off of the
Agreed.
face of the planet to solve this problem. Now, I don't care whether you clap or not, but I'm saying to you that we need to solve this problem because they are going to kill us. And I will leave on that. So we have to just set up our own system and stop playing and get very serious and not be diverted.
Ladies and gentlemen, is how we leave it off on a good note. Because you can say what you want to say. At the end of the day, we have tried literally everything. We've introduced them to Christianity. They turned Christianity into a war tool. We introduced them to Islam. They turned Islam into a war tool. We introduced them to free everything. All you have to do is work and earn it. And they turned that into a demonization and called it socialism. We have tried everything to be at peace with these homunculus chimeras. We've even went so far as to segregate ourselves from them. We had our own schools, we had our own farms, we had our own technologies. We did not deal with them. All we did was trade with the Mexicans and the Jamaicans and people from around the world that looked like us. We segregated ourselves from them. And what did they do? They stalked us. And then they killed everyone they could. And then on top of that, they burnt the towns down and forced us to deal with them again. We have tried every single thing to be at peace with these creatures. We have tried every single thing to be at peace with their policies. We said we don't even want reparations at one point, and we said we just want you to leave us alone, and they still continue to kill us. There is nothing left to do. There is absolutely nothing left to do but exterminate them. And you can call me racist. You can call me an extremist. You can say whatever you want. But tell me I'm wrong. Prove to me that I'm wrong. Go back in history. Go back 40 years. Just go back 40 years and tell me that I'm wrong. They dropped level B C4 on an apartment complex, all because there was people there trying to reform the Black Panther Party. And everyone who ran out, women, children, and men, the police gunned them down while they were trying to escape a burning building. They practiced cannibalism. To this day, they still practice cannibalism. They are trafficking children from our communities all around the world. Like, there is no way that the solution is singing Kumbaya and we shall overcome. There is only one solution. And I know people don't want to hear this, but it's the truth. But there's only one solution. You have to exterminate them. Because what have they benefited to making life better? Name one person that has benefited. What you gonna do? Pull Lincoln out of your ass? Lincoln didn't do anything. Lincoln never freed the slaves. We put so much pressure on the U.S. government because we were killing them that they had to come up with the emancipation. You understand? What you gonna do? Africa? They are still trying to. Africa's joining the Chinese now. Why? Because of years and generations of apartheid and governmental manipulation. What are you going to do? Pull out South America? South America has been the breeding ground of civil war ever since the cocaine era. And no, the cocaine era did not start with El Chapo. It started with Ollie North and the CIA. Go look up that TV show Marcos. They clearly said South America is making tens of millions of dollars from the United States. El Chapo was trying to rebuild his community. He was going to rebuild his community. And what happened? What happened? The U.S. got involved and said, hey, we can't have them making so much money that we can't put them in debt. The crack era started with the CIA. They won't tell you that. How did Freeway Ricky Ross learn how to cook crack? Let's talk about that. It's so much. Let's talk about the onslaught of genocide. Let's talk about how you use our people to fertilize Georgia peaches. You understand? Let's talk about all the cities that are under dams around America. You ever seen that movie Hush Puppy? That is a true story, my boy. That is a true story of how the U.S. government set up dams to flood the whole damn city. Like, it is thousands of years of atrocities from these people. But you still want to sing, we shall overcome. It's about to be an entire race war out here because homunculus chimeras are too stupid to realize when they are being antagonized. They are too stupid. And yet you still want to sing, we shall overcome. I might put that at the end of every video now, because that was just the truth. Exterminate them, man. Look, Fat Man Buddha, man, I hope y'all were informed. I hope y'all were entertained. I hope y'all learned something. I hope y'all found something to have a conversations with yourself about.